our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. The second stanza, let's go. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to and live in just and truth. Great lofty height attain to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Let's put our hands together for that beautiful rendition. It's a beautiful rendition, so because for us to be able to put those words together and utter it, even with our years of after leaving school, it is noteworthy. It is noteworthy. So because some people in some corners who are in some positions cannot do what we have just done. I have not mentioned the name. All right. so it's a good thing. Okay, and if we listen to the stanzas that we have rendered, the stanza 2 particularly, it's a prayer. And one particular thing that I noted in that prayer is that we mentioned the leaders and immediately we mentioned the youths. That means there is so much responsibility on the leaders and the youth. Why the youth? So because the youth becomes the leaders. So that is why my position in this country is important and relevant. Your position in this country, it's important and relevant. Forget about the bureaucracies, forget about the stories we hear here and there. It is important, and that is why we are here today. It is called Change is Coming Conference. And we believe that we are going to push that change that we are really talking about. And it begins from our little sphere of influence. Thank you very much once again. That was a beautiful rendition. Let's put our hands together again for that beautiful rendition. Thank you very much. So continue, we want to meet each other in very few minutes. So get your paper and your pen. Whenever I go for conferences or events, I ensure that I link up with people. That's one major reason. In fact, that is one of the greatest reasons why I would not mind the transport expense, and I would put myself on the bus or on the train or from the waters anywhere, then go to the venue, because I want to link up with people. So if you think you know the person that you want to speak with before today, you don't know enough. You don't know enough yet. So because I'm beginning to think in that direction now, that some people would say, I know them already. So the reason I said you don't know enough is that I expect that the person you know yesterday should have been better today. So that means I'm going to meet Uncle Tade Ayodele again today. So I expect that there's something new that I should know about him today. If he is really growing, that's a challenge. So meet everyone here now. Let's be on our feet and move around. That's what we are doing next. Get a pen, get a paper, meet someone and know something new about the person. So the person must say something new. There must be something new. There must be something new. So let's go ahead and do that. Please, you can give us a soft tune while we do that. Soft tune, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to call people at random to ask what they just know about the other person. So you take it serious. And I promise to do that. I promise to do that. So I'm going to call people at random to let me know what they have known about the person. I'm going to do that. That's a promise. So ask about the business they run. Look for ways you can add value to the individual. These are the reasons why we come together for events like this. We could have stayed in our houses and just go online. So try to find out ways that you can be of help, you can add value to the individual. Thank you. All right, let's round off. Let's round that off quickly. Okay, thank you very much. We can go to our various seats, but if you are comfortable sitting where you are, no problem. So we can go back to our various seats. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So let me do my own. My own would mean that I would have to hear you talk to me. So don't worry. I'm still going to meet you later. So, sir, your name and what you do. Your name and what you do. Thank you.
My name is John Joseph. People call me John J for a short.
John J.
Yes. I'm a serving corps member now. I'm a serving corps, and I'm teaching. But apart from that, I'm a gospel artist. Yes.
A round of applause for him, please. So, okay. Sir, your name, please, and what you do.
My name is Mr. Ogunshino Adekola, and I'm a teacher.
I think there are many teachers here. I'm a teacher. Although I try to upgrade mine by saying I'm an educator. I make it sweeter. So when they ask me, what do I educate on? I say life. So because I cannot exhaust what I can educate on. I am a continuous learner. Currently, I'm doing a research on the human brain. Okay, it's a personal research. I'm not in a university to do that. So, but it's easier for me that way because I have the choice to pick those who would lecture me. Do we get it? I have the choice to pick who would lecture me. And this is what I usually do when I want to go on a research like that. I go online, I try to get the best on the field of neuroscience. The best that the world has produced up to today on the field of neuroscience. So I pick at least 3 of them. And one thing about, I think Nigeria is falling short of this. One thing about the abroad people is that, they enjoy putting their works online. They find it a thing of joy for them to put their works on. They are not miserly with it. They're not stingy with it. So, and I think that's a way that we need to also learn as we grow into leadership in the country. If you want to read books on leadership, for example, scarcely will you find our politicians having materials that can be of help to you. That is why we have to read books from guys abroad. And that's not helpful because they don't know our climb. They don't know things that are peculiar to us. Even in the business world, when we want to read about business, we read from guys that don't know how Nigeria terrain works. So that's a challenge to us. Okay, so I expect that very soon we should be coming up with materials that can be of help to people here because they understand. The same reason why when we need security to be upgraded, we go abroad and beg them to come and secure. When they don't understand enough the terrain of our streets, of our villages, of our cities, of our towns, as much as even our ordinary Nigeria vigilantes would understand. So that's a challenge to every one of us. So we are leaders and we are emerging. So we should not take that for granted. Thank you very much. So welcome once again to Change is Coming Conference 2021, Tact Leverage. Please, let's do that. If you want to do it, let's do it well. Let's do it well. Thank you very much. So, and if you are here, I want to assure you that you are going to be so much glad you came around. So every one of us, I believe, we carry something on the inside of us. You know, we have value. And that's why we are bringing different values together to make a composite whole. So you will give me and I will give you. That was the reason for the interaction we had earlier, so that we can exchange, we can know why. So, but I want us to get our writing materials ready and ensure that before you go, you connect with everybody in this hall. Ensure that okay, now, I'm going to do a free gift. I'm going to do a free gift. During our closing remark, I'm going to find out, I'll pick randomly. Okay, I'm giving you hints now so that you can prepare. Okay, so I'm going to pick randomly, and anyone who can produce the highest number of connections. Okay, anyone who can produce the highest number of connections, we go with a gift from me. So, but the gift will be something that can add to your knowledge. So you can guess what it will be. So, but the gift will be something that can add to your knowledge. So, write that down that I've said that, and I keep my words. Well, I'm not being proud. I used to say I keep my words because there's a way it helps us to do that is good, is not, talking about the positive attributes about a person. It gets to the point where the person begins to put him or herself into shape and would not want to disappoint because you have already attributed that character trait to him. Like the Yorubas will say that if you want to keep a particular material so secure, what you should, and you don't want, for example, you don't want a cat to eat fish. You make the cat responsible for keeping the fish. With that, your fish is protected to an extent. Anyways, so by the end of this meeting, we are going to pick and we're going to celebrate the person. The person will take special photographs with all the speakers today. Permission, please. So the person is going to because someone is getting up now. So because it is very important. A man wrote a book and he said, your network is your net worth. And I cannot disagree with that. Over and again, I cannot disagree with that. As a matter of fact, my wealth is in the people I know and the connections I have made. The reason why I'm here today is because I have a relationship with Pastor Tade Ayodele. And should I say till death do us part? In fact, death cannot do us part. If you understand, you understand. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, welcome once again. While we were discussing, we had the pleasure to have in our midst Mr. Samson Ogbole. Hope I got that correct. Okay. Well, unpaid announcements or information, I follow you online. Everywhere, I follow you online. As a matter of fact, I told someone, I don't I don't brag. And I don't, what is it called now? I can't remember the word for it now. Like, I don't pump people up unnecessarily. I graduated as a soil scientist, and I don't know what he graduated with. So, but I think that they should bring what he's doing currently into a school like FUNAB. So, because this is the reality of our day, and we would see lecturers still using the notes they used in school for 21st century students. I am sorry, there is no way I would speak, and I won't speak about education because I'm passionate about it. So these are the realities of our time. In fact, even if it's an honorary, you should be preparing for it. Thank you very much, sir. All right, you are welcome. Please, a round of applause for him. So to take us on, we are going to have the pleasure of bringing... Which title will I give him now? Okay. If you call him pastor, you are fine. Okay. And if you call him future GCFR, you are correct. All right. So whatever title that you feel in your heart, we're going to bring Tadia Ayodele on board, and he's going to introduce leverage to us. He's going to introduce leverage to us. I want us to really be attentive to get from his wealth of knowledge. One trait I look out for in people that I follow is how much interest they have in knowledge. So because if you are so much passionate about knowledge and learning, if I meet you today, it is not the same content you have that you would have tomorrow if I meet you. So there is always something new about you. That is a way to be renewed. You keep adding the knowledge. You keep getting better at what you do so that you become a voice on that field. Type soilless farm into Google today and you would see some of the works of Mr. Samson Ogbole. Okay, I think it's set. So let's have Pastor Tadia Ayodele as he comes to deliver his session. A round of applause, please. Let's keep clapping until he gets here. Let's keep clapping. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning, friends. Whether you are online or you are here physically, I'd like to welcome you to this year's edition of Changes Coming. In 2020, we didn't have this conference. We planned to have it online, but we still couldn't do that because there were so many things happening at the same time. And this year was almost impossible because usually we'd have it in November. And people were even asking, when are we going to have it and all of that. And then eventually, we have to hold it in December, the first Saturday in December. I'm sure you are here for value. You are here to get something about your life, especially about your business, whether you are running something, or you're about to start something, or you intend to run something. So this year, we're talking about leverage. My session is supposed to be like an introduction to the 4 sessions we're having today. It's supposed to be an introduction. So, you might not have my topic in any of the topics you already have. So, what we're going to do is, this meeting today is going to be very short. We are trusting that by 2 p.m. we're out of here so that we can catch up with the rest of the day. And then we're going to share some things with you via email. And then you're going to download some things from our website eventually after this meeting. The talks. There's a document you're going to download from Sam Egbum. It's a document talking about how to maximize WhatsApp, how to use it to make multiple millions. A lot of people are using WhatsApp to make money. Some of us are using it to just chat. And the funny thing about WhatsApp is that we are always on it, almost all the time. If you find yourself just not doing anything, instead of reading books, the next thing you probably are doing is WhatsApp. What we used to do back in the days is we'll be reading. You don't get caught anywhere without a book. But these days, what we do when we have nothing doing is WhatsApp. So I think we should be maximizing that opportunity to reach people. So there is something that Sam Egbum, who is a content marketer, a content writer, that is something he has been able to put up for us. Unfortunately, Sam will not be here today. He has a family emergency, but he has put up the entire process in a short manual, which I'm going to share with you after this conference. Are you with me? So So that's why I said the meeting is going to be a lot faster than planned. Also, we will not be having Emmanuel Dumusi with us. As we speak right now, he's also online. He's watching online. So he's going to be here. He has reasons to travel this morning between Jos and Abuja. And coming here, it's quite impossible. But he sent in a video. We'll be watching a short clip from him. He's going to be talking to us about how to leverage on relationship for growth. All right? Are you with me? All right. So this morning we want to look at an introduction to what we want to do. Talking about leverage. So let me start with this statement. There are two most important days in a person's life. In any person's life, there are two most important days. The day the person is born and the day he discovers why he was born. There are two most important days in a person's life. The day he is born and the day he discovers why he was born. So, being born is not really the big deal about life. But it's important because you have to be born first before you can discover why you are here. So, it's very important that you are born, but also very much more important is why you are here. So, while you are here, and why you are here today, is because you want to grow. There's something about you that is yearning for growth. There's something you want to do with your life. But you can't do that which you want to with your life without growing, without knowing why you are here in the first place. If you don't know why you are here, you're going to be wasting time. Are you with me? All right, so next slide. So, what is leverage? In finance, because the word is first used in finance, or is used majorly in finance. When you finance your business with debt, it's called leverage. When you finance your business with debt, it's leverage. But it's not a bad thing, neither is it a good thing. It depends on what you do with it. Now, most businesses either would sell shares of their business or they go for leverage. People like Dangote may not bother to sell shares. What they do is go for debt. It's to go for leverage. So Dangote is the richest man in Africa. And what he's doing is leverage majorly. There is no bank he approaches that would not be willing to lend him money because he's credit worthy. It's first credit worthy and he's also going to return whatever he borrows. Most of the people who are entirely rich, for example, in this nation, mention Dangote, mention Femi Otedola, mention what? Adeleke. Who? Adenuga, yes, Adenuga. Mention their names. So, but in English, there's another word that is also called leverage, which is also fine when we use it in the finance sense. And that is getting advantage. Getting advantage in life. Leverage, what I step on to rise. What is it that I have that gives me this advantage in life? It's what you call your leverage. Something that gives you advantage. Something that gives you advantage. So Sam Ogbole will be talking to us today about two different things. Emmanuel Dumusi will be talking to us about something. Sam Egum will be talking to us about something. Those things that are given to us today is to give us leverage. So what you know basically gives you leverage. What you know is what gives you leverage. If you don't know it, you don't have leverage. What they are teaching you today, what I'm going to give to you in this conference, is what is called leverage. They are giving you something that your contemporaries may not have. And a number of young people these days will take that for granted. Right now, the world is maybe I should say Nigeria is upside down. Most young people are not even doing anything. Just yesterday, we read the story of a young boy that was killed, 12 years old. Killed because they wanted him to join a cult. And he refused to join a cult in a school that pay 1 million. What am I going to join cult for now? My parents have money and they probably have influence. Yet in that school, there are still cults. What do they want to prove? And that boy was his life was wasted at 12 years old. I'm sure those who attacked him are probably all going to be 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old. They killed them. If you look at the statistics of young people who are doing something with their life right now, and those who want it quick, like the Yahoo boys, you will wonder if they really have interest in anything leverage. They want it quick. They're not interested in office before. This is someone rich. All right? So, using something to maximize your results. Using something, and when I say something, it could be someone. But there is something that is amplifying your results. That's leverage. Achieving more with less effort is leverage. It's leverage. You know, someone said, I've been able to achieve much in life because I stand on the shoulder of giants. That is quite important. I'm coming to that. I'm going to explain it better. When you stand on the shoulder of a giant, this person is a giant. You are a dwarf. You are down here, the person is up there. You are taking advantage of where he is, his height, to look far. So what even that giant does not see, you will see. Because you are standing on his shoulder. He can see farther. But when you stand on his shoulder, you see farther than him. So you are taking advantage of the little you have and the much he has to go far. That's leverage. Next. All right. So what's my leverage? That's the question you should ask yourself. What's my leverage? Have you asked yourself that question before? What is the advantage I have? I wrote a post sometimes ago, and I said, if you have a small business in telecommunication, you don't want to compete with MTN. You don't want to compete with Glo. You don't want to compete with Etisalat. You don't want to compete with Airtel. You are also in telecommunication, but you don't want to compete with these big guys. So what do? You first study these big businesses and then see what you can take advantage of that they don't do. There is something MTN cannot do because they are very big. They are not looking at probably the small customers. They are not probably looking at, sincerely, MTN has something for every class of people. The very poor people, the average class, for the big men. For example, they have postpaid plans or packages, so that a rich man is not thinking like, my credit will finish, so that once you, at the end of the month, once you pay a certain amount, for the next 1 month, just make calls like you want. And then they have this package for a person who cannot buy more than 15 naira card. But along this whole chain, there is going to still be a loophole. There's something we call gap. So when you are in school and you want to study, you want to do a PhD or a master's program, or you want to do a bachelor degrees project, what the supervisor is going to give you as a topic is what we call gap. So what you are doing is not going to be something new. It's not new. What you are just doing is filling a gap. There's something that has been done before, but there's a gap that is missing. So they have done something with sulfur on soil, sodium in soil, chloride in soil, and then we say, what about mercury in the soil? Has it been done? Nobody has. Okay, let's do mercury in soil. So when you want to do your chapter 2, you talk about literature review. The review of literatures that have been done before. So you review those literatures, sodium in soil, sulfur in soil, magnesium in soil, and then now I'm going to mercury in soil eventually. And I tell them that, okay, all of this that have been done, there is still a gap. Nobody has talked about mercury in soil. And why should I justify why it is important? Because mercury itself is probably hazardous. It's a heavy metal and all of that. And then I want to say, if it is in your soil, you don't consume heavy metal and then excrete it. You don't excrete it. It stays in your body. It accumulates in the body. Because if you take it now, if you take a fish that has consumed heavy metal, when you eat that fish, the same heavy metal in the fish will stay in your body. It doesn't get degraded in the fish. And in your own bodies too, it still stays in your body. So why am I studying mercury in the soil? Because if you consume it, so it's a gap. So what's my own leverage? What's my leverage? What's the gap I am here to fill? We asked the question earlier. Why am I here? And the first thing is I'm born. Why am I born? And then, we said there are two important questions you ask yourself. Why am I here? Okay, I should be here. And why am I supposed to be here? At some point, you have to ask yourself that question. If you don't ask yourself that question, you're going to waste your entire life. Just 75 years, 80 years, and you will just be here. And then you die. There is no purpose fulfilled. All right, so what's my own leverage? There are three things I feel brings leverage to us in business. There might be more, but I believe that all of those things still wraps around all these three. Capital, labor, and in our generation, code. Maybe before now we just say capital and labor. But these days, capital, labor, and code or media. Next slide, please. Let's start with capital. What is it about capital? So what leverage can you get? When we talk about leverage, like I said before, in finance, it's basically around debt financing. Financing your career with debts. Okay, so how do I take advantage of other people's money to grow? Now, this is important because so many things have happened in this nation of recent that people no longer trust anything finance, anything investment. Like you want to start a business, one of the best ways we used to talk about is, what do we call it? Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding. I want to do a business worth 1 million. I'm only worth 100,000. I need 900,000 more. So where do I get 900,000 more? I do crowdfunding. You written it down. Do you have a blueprint of what exactly you want to do? And then before you now talk about capital. Because once you have written it down, you can now break this thing you want to do into different levels. Okay, I will start, because I have 100,000 naira, I'm going to start with this first phase of the business. I break the business into 4 phases. Instead of saying, what I want to do is worth 1 million, and then I put 1 million immediately. No. I first want to start with a first stage that will not take me more than 80,000 naira or 100,000 naira, which is the money I have. Now, next thing is I want to increase. If you are going to make more money in that business, you have to put more money into it. You have to put more money into it. And then if you are going to put more money into it, the money is going to have to come from somewhere. And that's what we call OPM. I was listening to him recently. He was saying, I have a video. I can't play it now. Maybe I can share with you later. He said, I don't even take vacation. The people who work with me have houses overseas. I don't have time to have houses in multiple places. I can't even manage them. The ones he has is even more than enough. But he's working with other people's money. But he's careful with what he does with other people's money. There was a time that they were after Jimoh. Is it Jimoh Ibrahim? Nigeria? You are owing banks. If you hold banks for so long, it's not even the banks that will be after you. Because the banks may trust that this man. But the important thing is that you need leverage of capital. You need capital. You need other people's money for leverage. But to get this leverage, you need to be trustworthy. Sometimes you don't need to approach a bank for loan. You just need to work with other people's money. But for you to work with other people's money, there is another people's money that is very important, which is the next one, labor. Next one, please. Now, when I talk about this, I want to talk about something Robert Kiyosaki said. He designed this. He talked about this, and it looks like the 4 things he was saying. He was talking about the 4, what do you call it? Quadrants. And then when you look at this thing, I don't know if you can see it. It looks like it should just be 3 of them, not 4. He's talking about an employee, that ESBI, employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. And you'll be wondering what's the difference between a self-employed person and a business owner. Is it not supposed to be the same? It's not the same thing. So the first person is an employee who works for a company. So you have a job. You don't have any leverage. It's just a job. And then you have this thing called self-employment, a small business. The problem with this small business is that why it differs from owning or holding a corporation is that you can't go on vacation on a small business. Once you go on vacation for 6 weeks, your business are going for vacation for 6 weeks. Because in this business, it's just you. I remember Reverend Sam Adeyemi was telling a story about when he learned about systems. He said he had a friend who had multiple chains of businesses, small businesses. And this guy also had a bookshop and a number of things. So he had this car that his dad had used. And then at the point his dad died, he took over the car. And in this car, when he's going to start this car, he will open the bonnet. He will start it from the bonnet. And then go into the car. You know, when you start starting the car from the bonnet, that car is finished. You are just still using it, but you have a car. You have a car. Sir? It's a motor. Okay, so you have a motor car. Or a motor vehicle. Which one will you call it now? All right, so he will start it from the engine, the bonnet, and then he will go into the car. And then you can see the road in the car. While you are seated in the car, you will be seeing the express road. It's not Marwa, it's a car. All right, so the guy was going through a lot. So one day on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, he just discovered that he was seeing double on the express road. He parked his car in the middle of the express, came down, and was just... So everyone else we were coming behind him, were slamming their brakes like, we're about to hit this vehicle. So from there, at some point, he got calmed. Then he got into his car and drove straight to his doctor. And doctor did all forms of checks, did a lot of tests on him. And the doctor said, there's nothing wrong with you, it is stress. Because he's the owner of the business and everything else. So this guy read this book called The Cash Flow Quadrant of Robert Kiyosaki, where he mentioned this ESBI. If you have not read it, please have that book. Most of these books are very cheap. I don't know if it's at the back there. There's a bookstore at the back there. Cash Flow Quadrant. So you read this book where Robert Kiyosaki said, do what do we call it now? An organogram of an organization from the top to the bottom. So this guy did this organogram: CEO, general manager, the head of bookstore, head of this one, head of this one, head of this one, different tasks, supervisors, including driver. He did everything. And discovered that he's the one who is fulfilling everything. He's the CEO, he's still the driver, he's still the supervisor, he's the general manager, he's the whatever in that organogram, is everything. So his answer, so the doctor told him, go home and rest. And don't leave your house until I tell you to leave, that you are strong enough to go. If not, the next thing you will hear is your obituary. So the man went home, he didn't have a choice. So he started reading books. That's when he saw this book. He has a bookstore. So he was taking the books one by one, started reading. So he took Cash Flow Quadrant, and that was the beginning of his deliverance. All right, so this self-employed person, he created a job, but this job is just for him. He still doesn't have a leverage because he's going to do everything all by himself. So he could be a pastor too, and it's still going to be the same thing. All right, so there's this person who is a business owner, who is the owner of the business, but he's not the one doing the business. People are working for him. John Maxwell said, when you want to employ someone, employ smart people, people who are smarter than you. Don't look for people because you are feeling you are feeling very adequate, or you are feeling insecure. That when this person that I get into this business is going to be better than me. I don't want somebody better than me. I want somebody that is lesser than me so that I can control him. You need to employ only smart people. So this guy talks about a business owner who has leverage. He employed people, and there are people who are usually smarter than him. And then there is this person who is an investor. He takes his money. He's not running any business anymore. He's taking his money and putting it into existing running businesses, standard businesses. Those businesses pay him on a monthly basis. He doesn't have to start opening his own business now. He just have to invest his money. One of the richest men in the world, I think is number 9 or number 10, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is basically an investor. And Robin Buffett now is 97 years old. So I learned recently that he gave billions of dollars to Bill Gates Foundation. Billions, because he's just thinking like, okay, this much money now. I'm just nearing the grave. What do I want to take this money to now? All right? He's an investor. Even at his death, the company will keep paying him. Recently, MTN released, I don't know if you saw it. MTN is about to sell certain part of his shares. Though I'm skeptical. I've been thinking about it. In fact, maybe I should be praying about it. I've not been announcing it because I'm careful. There are 2 sides to it. Number 1, shares in Nigeria has not been very meaningful for a long time now. So, the fact that it is MTN does not make it better than the existing companies. But in the second way I'm looking at it, it might be all the difference. It might just change the entire landscape of investing. It might. But looking at what is on ground for a while, it's been negative, 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 negative. Some of our parents who did that in the past, what we are getting now is 10 naira per month or 100 naira per month. And you look at 100 naira per month from your parents' investment, it doesn't buy anything independent in Nigeria. So those businesses are not doing well enough to pay. And they have too much investors. If there had been a little with much, you will have made a lot of money from there. But those people who are really making much right now in that kind of setting are people who have done too much in those days, so much that they could probably be even in the board of the company. All right, so when we're talking about labor, we're talking about not working alone, having people to work with you. You leverage on other people's strengths, other people's ideas. When I was studying, trying to set up a business some time ago, I went for a training. And before that time, I used to say that when you have a business idea, you guard it jealously. It was at that training I learned that ideas are just share it. Doesn't matter. I can give you a business idea here right now, and I'm so sure none of you will implement it. It is one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to have somebody who will run with the idea. So don't think that when I share my idea and make it public, you will all start running. It's not true. It's just, you just hear it for the fun of it. All right, so you need to start leveraging on other people. So when you have a business, employ at least one person for a start. Some will know that when you want to get a grant, most of the time, they want to know how many staffs you have. And they want to know how you are going to increase the number of staffs based on the grant you are giving. They don't just want to give you a grant for just you. They want to give you a grant to grow what you are doing and to employ more hands. So when you are applying for the grant, I have 2 staffs. You are telling them when I get this grant, I'm going to increase my staff to 5 or to 6. They want to see the number of lives you are affecting. Not just about you. So probably you have been applying for grants and then you are not getting, because you are not talking about how many people will benefit from what you get. It's about how many people more are going to be employed. How many people more are going to be empowered because you get this. So begin to think more people. Labor. Labor. Next slide. Please, sorry, before that, do you understand that? This table. Please, do you understand this table? Hello? Do you understand this table? Do you understand this table? Because my interest is not this table. My interest is to point out the fact that you need people to grow. You need people you need to leverage on people to become whatever. These guys here, the least paid here is the employee. Even if they pay him 1 million a month, it's still the least paid. If they employ you and give you 1 million a month, in a year you have earned 12 million. There is someone who is in the big quadrant, who is paying other people's salaries, but is leveraging on what they know to grow the business. So if this one business can get people who need plastics. You know, recently it was Sam Egum that was posting online. He said, most people, why they remain poor is because they don't take advantage of things happening around. These days, everybody's talking about snake in their toilets. Have you discovered that people are afraid? How many of you stay in toilet beyond 5 minutes now? Okay, you are still in the toilet. All right. Some people are still using their toilet. Okay. Some people now are so scared of the toilet that what has taken them 20 minutes before, oh boy, it's 2 minutes, so this thing must come out fast. Let me just jump out from here. Because everyone is scared. Take advantage of this season. Do something around snake expellents or repellents. People will buy. People will buy. I'm not saying everybody will buy. Because people always say that when they ask you, who are your customers, say everybody will buy it. Not everybody will buy it. Just like when we are starting Revive Citizens. One question a friend of mine, Shewon Akinloton, asked me was, Pastor, who are your customers? We might be thinking, it's the church now, which one will be customer? There are people who will be buying. There are people who will never buy in. So you have to discover the kind of people you want to attract. Then you work towards those kind of people. Every business must have something that is called, what do we call them, type. This kind of type of people. You now define them. This male, not a niche per se. Thank you. Customer profile. It's customer profile. You create a customer profile. There is this man who is 12 years old. So you're talking about the age of the people you are trying to reach. There is Tade, who is 12 years old. He's a business owner. He lives in Ikoyi. So you define the kind of location they stay, the kind of their age, the kind of business they do. That's a customer profile. If you don't define such a thing, you are not sure. You just want to reach everybody. Everybody cannot be your customer. No matter how you do it, you spell it. Some people will not use MTN SIM. Let them do all kinds of promo. I'm not doing MTN. Probably because they have used before and there was a challenge. They will just, or somebody told them about MTN. They just say, I'm not doing MTN. So if you set them one small business that is going to be closer to its customers, that they can easily walk up to the shop and say, I want to do something. Have you walked up to a MTN shop? They don't have customer service thing there. There's always a crowd. And they are always in a hurry. So somebody is looking for a shop. And they don't even need to walk to. They just say, oh, good morning, sir. How are you doing? Or when they want to walk to that shop, there is this customer service that they get. So there's always going to be something you are doing. There's a type of customers you are trying to reach. You can't reach everybody, no matter what you are selling. You can't reach everybody. Don't say, I'm focusing on the rich. All the rich people will not buy from you. Find your own kind of customers. Don't say, I'm looking for people who cannot pay for much. What's the meaning of that? They can't pay for much. Does not mean they will not pay. If they find the kind of value they are looking for. So you have to still tell the kind of customers you are looking for. And All right, so this is just talking about a self-employed person and employee. They are on one side of the quadrant. And there's another side of the quadrant called business owners and investors. These ones are better than these ones. These ones are better than these ones. It's very important to know that. All right? Next slide, please. Which is the third one, which is code. In our time now, we now take advantage of what is called media and codes. That even when I'm not there, my business continues to make money. If you sell bulk SMS, for example, bulk SMS are no longer making much money anymore. When it was making much money, I made a lot of money from bulk SMS. But now these days, it's more like nothing more. Now, so there's a code that is written already that you don't even need. While I'm here, money is entering my account. I just get an alert. I still use the service because of business and everything else. I still use the service, so I don't have to call the customer service. Please sell me $1,000 or 100,000 naira or something. I just pay online and it automatically credits me. That's the code. And because of the media and codes, we can make money while not there. You know, the first one is that you are making money through other people. You are here, but your business is running. But these days, you may not even have somebody behind the business because you wrote certain codes. You are making money in your absence, and the absence of your staffs. Saturdays and Sundays may be non-working days, yet people are making money on those days. There are people who have written certain codes, and money keeps entering into their account. You know, I was discussing with Isaac. Isaac is not around. We were discussing about a week or two ago about why it's more important to create courses than for you to say you are teaching classes. There's a lot of difference. When you teach classes, you are probably going to have to refund a lot of money to people because they will give you a headache. I don't understand. If I write a course, you understand, you don't understand. I've written the course. You have gotten your password. You have paid. My brother, find your level. It doesn't have anybody to complain to. It's a system. But when you take classes, so I don't understand. 8 hours, you still say he doesn't understand. And you continue to repeat the same thing. But if you have made a class that is understandable, the person can listen to that thing again and again, and then bring out something from it. So, because I have the media to take advantage of, I don't have to hold these physical classes. As we are here right now, a number of people are following online who may be more than those of us who are here physically. We are giving certificates out to those who are here presently. We are also giving certificates out to those who are online. But the advantage of this, that's how we call this edition hybrid. Some are going to be online, some are going to be here physically. Because of code and media. We take advantage of the media. Don't say it is not useful. There is less you can do without media. These days, there is less you can do without media. Imagine what would have happened in 2020 without the media. Without Zoom, without Facebook and all of those things. What would have happened in 2020? How would you have visited your family without a mobile phone in 2020? How would you have survived? So we must leverage also on code. As I close, let me read to you. Are you with me? Next slide, please. All right, so let me read to you something Douglas Malloch said. He wrote this poem, tagged, "Be the best of whatever you are." Be the best of whatever you are. So there are 4 pages. There are 4 of them. Number 1, it says, if you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the river. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. Now he's saying that even though you don't have a very big business like Dangote, that small business that you have, do it well. Take advantage of leverage. Leverage on something. Number 2, if you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass and some happier make. If you can't be a mosque, then just be a bass, but the liveliest bass in the lake. There's a fish called bass. If you can't be, just be a fish in the sea. Next. We can't all be captains. We've got to be crew. There is something for all of us here. There is big work to do and there is lesser to do. And the task you must do is the near. And lastly, he said, if you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. What is a trail? You can't be the train itself. If you can't be the highway, be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best at whatever you do. Whatever you do, just be the best in it. Leverage on something. Like I said, my session is just an introduction to what the speakers are going to be saying. But let me say this again and again. Take advantage of what you have. Take advantage of things around you to grow. Take advantage of things around you to grow. But the important thing is that you are growing. The important thing is what? That you are growing. Don't joke with growth. Ensure you take advantage. Thank you so much.
A round of applause for Mr. Taja Yodele. Please, let's do it better. Those of us that are into public speaking would know how much effort it takes to deliver at such a time. We know how much effort it takes. And it's not just speaking, it's speaking intelligently. Please, let's give it to him once again. Thank you very much, sir. We are grateful to you for always being available to grace our events. Thank you very much. All right. So, shortly, we want to, this is tech age, right? So we want to do something that prevented us, or is it prevent us now? Something we have not done before, okay, while we were coming in. So we want to take our names and contacts, but we'll do it very fast. Please, if I'm not on WhatsApp, if you're not on WhatsApp, can you notify? Like, you're not online, not that the app is not on your phone. You can't get online immediately. Please, can you notify? If you're Lua, are you busy? Okay. So please, can you notify? Okay, that means every one of us, we are currently online. Please, let's go on WhatsApp. Okay. Can we all see what is displayed?
Good morning, everyone.
Please, let's
I'm
type
Odumosi
this
Emmanuel,
as
and
a
I'm
message.
glad to be with you today.
Do we understand?
It's time to
Okay.
evolve,
Type
it's
it
time
as a
to
message
change, it's
on
time
your
to
phone.
leverage on the resources
Okay.
that we have to be
Is
better
this
off than
working?
we were this year or last
Okay.
year or
Type as a
years
message on your
before.
phone
And I
and
find this
send your
opportunity to
name
be able to talk to
and
you
contact to
as a
this
form
number.
of honor from God,
Do we
from Pastor
understand?
Tade, from all the other
So I try
speakers
to
who are
do this
speaking
to
with you
save
right
the
now.
stress of
And
saving the name on our
for you
phone,
to be
on
sitting
our
down
phone.
there
So
to
just type
listen
and
and
send your
desire to
name
be better
and
off,
your phone
it's an
number. So we want
opportunity to
to
be here
keep
with you
track
today. So I
of
appreciate everyone,
the
all the
participants
workers,
in our
everybody who's been
conferences.
able
So
to put
because
this
timely
project
there
and
will be
this event
opportunities
together.
that will be
I'm
going
Odumosi
out. So we
Emmanuel,
want
currently
us
the
to be the
National
first
Ecosystem
beneficiaries. And as
expert for the
Pastor Tade
global
has said,
Nigeria.
we are going to be
And
sharing
my
materials with
desire
us,
is to ensure that
especially the one
MSMEs
from
and
Mr.
entrepreneurs
Samson
understand that
Edmonds
there's a
that
need
is
for
not
them to
able to be
find
with us today
linkages that
for
will help them be
important
better off
reasons.
than they're
Thank you very much.
currently
So let's do that
doing right
quickly.
now.
Let's do
Now,
that
a
quickly.
lot of people want to be better. A lot of people want to grow. And I know you actually want to grow. You want to scale high. You want
Your
to
name and your
earn
phone number,
but
please.
far more than
Carefully.
what you're currently
Save
earning.
me the stress. Your
And the
name and phone
question
number.
is, how do I do
Actually,
it?
your name
How
should have
do
been
I
enough.
grow?
But your name
How
and your
do I
phone
be a
number.
better person?
Thank you very
I'm
much.
not just being a better person. How do I make my business grow?
We
How
are
do
going
I,
paperless.
evolve to be a better person? And today I'll be speaking to you on
Okay,
leveraging
please do.
connections for
Thank
growth.
you. Email, please.
Why?
Your
Because, like
name,
I
your phone
said
number, your
earlier,
email.
growth
Please
is a key thing
email.
for you to be a
Help
better
me spell
person. If you
correctly.
don't grow,
Please,
you
when
remain
you
stagnant. And if you
spell,
remain
check
stagnant,
again
you will
if there are
die
no
soon.
errors. Because once
Death
there
could be
is a
spiritual,
slight error, you
academic,
won't get the message.
financial,
And I
moral,
want all of us
in any
to
form. As
get the
long as you stay
messages.
and
But
remain
I
where
can
you
assure
are,
you that
you
we
are
will
going
do
to
more
die soon.
than just to
Don't mind my
send
video
and not
quality.
follow up.
I'm
I
actually
can
in the
assure you
hotel
of
room,
that.
and then
There's going to be a
like
follow-up.
this is
So
as
even if
much
you don't
light I
get
could
it,
get
we are
right
going to know
now.
that you have not gotten
So
it,
I
but we'll still
apologize
find a
for
way
that,
to get it
but
to you. Thank you
it
very
is
much.
time
So
for
we
us
are
to be
going
better
better,
off and
right?
to
We are also
learn and to
improving.
interact and to,
So we are
you know,
growing
grow, as I said
together.
before.
We have
So
heard about
these are the key
leverage.
things I would like
And
us to
leverage,
note
we talked about
in this
leveraging on people,
discussion.
on time, on
Number
resources.
one,
These are advantages
growth
and
is
privileges that we can
essential for
enjoy. So, and
sustainability.
it begins from
While
how you communicate with another person. Everyone sitting here at the moment has value. Everyone, I can say that boldly, that everyone sitting here today has value. For you to leave your house and come here, it's because you are looking for something that you want to add more to yourself. So let's celebrate ourselves once again with a round of applause. Thank you very much. To take us on this afternoon, we have the privilege to have in our midst Mr. Samson Ogbole. His name has almost turned to soilless. So, I just know today that the Soilless Farm Lab is not actually the name of the enterprise. Am I correct, sir? Okay, so I saw that on his LinkedIn profile, and I was like, well, what I know is Soilless Farm Lab. That's all I know about. All right, so Mr. Samson Ogbole is the team lead for Upepsia Place Limited, also known as Soilless Farm Lab. Okay, no need to put that. All right. So where they use technology for agriculture. So we know that food is a big deal. Now, I was discussing with some friends lately, and I told them that the reason why the earlier fathers we had didn't mind to have several children is because farm is Shopee. So every family, in fact, if you are a man and you don't have a farm, you can't consider marriage. So because you know food is the important thing. But in our day, things have changed. So we can also experience the plenty food they experienced in their day when we engage technology in the processes of agriculture that we practice in our day. And the beautiful thing is that it can even be in your living room. That is the beautiful thing about it. And you don't need to say you don't have space in your land or in your house to do that. So please, I want us to listen to every bit of what he wants to share today. He's speaking to us far more than even the soilless thing. I'm sure of that. So please, let's give him our best, okay, in listening and get as much as we can get from him as we bring him up with a round of applause. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. We appreciate you. You are welcome. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody. Good morning, Daddy. Thank you, sir. We are going to try and rush. Now, what I will be discussing is how to get out of debt, or how to get out of bad debt. How to get out of debt. And I'm thinking so that everybody can write happily without fear of somebody will copy or see my shame, not my story, my shame. If you need to move away from somebody so that you are alone in one area so that nobody sees what you are writing, it's only your own, fine, do that. But what God has joined together, let no debt put us under. So we are going to start out by writing, how much do you owe? Write it somewhere. So I will teach you how to get out of that debt. How much do you owe? Because if you don't know how much you owe, your own case is different. You just know you owe, but you don't even know how much. Hey, that's different. Now, permit me to read somewhere in the Bible. The part of the Bible we are going to use how to get out of debt is a part I know. If you've never read it, your church never completes. Psalm 23. Who has not read Psalm 23 before? We've all read it now, Abi. And in that place, God taught us how to get out of debt. In verse 5. I prefer Message Bible because Message Bible, I can say, okay, let me start with NKJ, the New Kings. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So it makes you feel like there is a Satan up somewhere you are fighting. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. Please, let's try message. You serve me a 6-course dinner right in front of my enemies. That's point number 1 to get out of debt. How many of us have had a 6-course meal before? You've not. I'll tell you how it is. Number 1, you can't finish that whole process in 10 minutes. Who knows? It takes at least an hour, 30 minutes to be done with the whole eating process. So the step number 1 to get out of debt is rest. 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 You need to go to a place of rest, a place of peace of mind. One of the issues we have when we have debt to pay is your brain goes on overdrive. Abi, we start thinking, where will I get this? Where will I get that? Who will I talk to? Who do I know? Who do I did? And most of the time, the decisions you are going to be making will be from one wrong to another. So when the Bible is saying in the presence of the enemies there is, you have the people you are owing around. They are screaming and shouting. See, the worst that they can do, any debtor can do to you is to kill you. Yes or no? Are we together? Once you have agreed the worst is death, if you trouble yourself, will your troubling and thinking bring the money? Let's talk. Will it bring the money? Do you have control over the people you hope to go and beg to get money? No. So why are you worried? And it doesn't sound like Jim. Rest. Go and look at these big guys that they will say they are owing bank money. Have you noticed there is one common denominator when they find them? They'll say they went on a vacation in an island. Like, Oga, you are owing money. You can't go rest. Why you they rest? You suppose they think of our money. I followed what's this guy's name? Madoff. Not many of us know Madoff. He was the guy that was responsible for, I think, early 2000, that global meltdown, that a lot of people lost money. And when the whole thing was at its peak, he took his family for vacation to go and rest. Now, why is it important that you go and rest? See, there is this joke we used to crack. They will say, after God created man, he rested. After he created woman, no more rest. I don't know if that is true, but it's a joke they said, but hey. Now, when God was done with his creation, we are told that God already knows what will happen at the end, even from the beginning. Meaning, the fall of man was not a surprise. Abi? But before the era where man will fall, and he starts dealing with all of those issues, what did he do? He first rests. Am I making sense? Like, there are issues that are going to come, but first thing I need to do is rest. How do you rest? Because many people don't know how to rest. I know that he's looking at me and judging me. I have started learning how to rest. No, I'm serious. I've started learning. Thank God Moturayo is here. There are days I don't pick my call, Abby. There are days I enter the office and sleep. Ask, she knows, now I do it. As in, I will just enter the office, close the door, go to the back of my chair and sleep. And at times, people will come in, peace will be like, Samson, God forgive me, I'm always lying that you are not around. I'll say, no, stop using not around, that's a lie. Say not available. That is not a lie. Scripturally, you are right. He is not available to pick his call. Is that a lie? No. At times, rest. Now, when you rest, I don't know if it has ever happened to you that there was something you were thinking about during the day. It was really troubling you. Somehow you managed to fall asleep. Not that you planned it, you managed to fall asleep. And you wake up, everything aligned. Has it ever happened? So why do you think by your own power, by overthinking, you will solve that debt? Go and rest. Go on vacation. If you are like me, go and play video game. Do you understand? Do something that will help you rest. I'll tell you another thing. I'm sure people like Motunrayo don't know. When the work is choking me in the office and I don't know what to do, I call them and say, let's go and plant together. Because I enjoy doing it. So why I am sowing seed and all of that, it is not work. It's my hobby. Am I making sense? I'm trying to tell you the secret to these things. Rest. Learn to rest. Rest could be a hobby. It's just have a place where your mind can stop thinking. We are not saying the problem is not there, but what? Rest. When there was the whole, storm and all, there were the people that were active and shouting and fetching water. But there was somebody that was sleeping. When he came out from his place of rest, he was able to say, "Oh God, peace, be still." Do you understand what I'm trying to explain? Rest. I understand that when you are owing somebody and the person comes and sees you resting, it's like you are not working. It's like you are not taking their problem serious. But the seriousness of their problem is not until you kill yourself. That thing that you are owing them that is making you think, God forbid you die, they will let it go. Yes or no? So why do you want to kill yourself for them? In your overthinking, there are even diseases you are going to spring up for yourself. Are we together? I'll give you an example. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, I was in Lagos with some of my big ogas. And fortunately or unfortunately, on the panel were two of my big mentors. When we were done with our talk, we had like a little get-together where we sat down, we were now gisting. And that my big mentor, these are people we run to when we have issues. And he was like, Samson, right now they owe like 400 million. And the man was eating with me, man, I'm thinking, okay, in And I was like, Daddy, so what's the way forward? He said, the worst they can do is that they will arrest me and put me in jail. When I enter jail, what I know how to do is farm. I will tell them to allow me to do prisoners farm. That will become a new project. He said, when I do it for like 2-3 years, the government will see my impact and give me presidential pardon. He said, when I'm there, nobody will be calling to shout. He said, because you've done your worst. I'm already in prison. If I'm making any sense. There are people, see, it's not every time the person you are owing calls you that you should pick. Protect your mental health. I am not saying avoid them. When your mind is settled, call them and continue. Is that what you would have said normally? So why are you saying it when your mental health is not healthy? Wait till you are healthy. Continue the I beg. Am I making any sense? So, under this I wrote, why do you need rest? You are not God. Even God rested. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to overthink everything. Go to a space where you are happy. Do you understand? A space that makes you happy when you are under that pressure. Go to that place. Go and be happy. Make up your mind to be happy intentionally. I'll give you an example. There is a project I got for one person to help us do. The total project is worth about 20-something million. The person I gave the job to did not flop. You know, if you flop, we say, okay, Oshe, they be over flop. Ko flop, ko sheni. Flop is good. This one is, you don't even do it. As we speak right now, I am the one that had to pay for tractor to go and be doing the project. When the owners called me, this. When they were done all their shout, Oga, see, you know who you gave money to. Now I am in the ministry of help. I am here to help you. If you need your money back, thank God it was their account you paid to directly. I am just helping because I can. So don't transfer that one to me. Am I making sense? Call things as they are. First, go and rest. In some cases, you may need to go on vacation. Go and vacate. You may need to lock your door, lock it. Or it may be as simple as turning off your phone, switch it off, and rest. Are we good? Please, let's go back to the Bible passage. So when he said, he will prepare a 6-course dinner in the presence of my enemies, he is saying you have learned how to rest despite the raging voices around you. Yes, they are screaming, they are at the door shouting, you've not paid your rent, you've not paid school fees, and let the child come home. Koleto yenabi. Let the child, there's school online. Baby, let's go on YouTube. Do you understand? Number 2 says, you revive my dropping head. In another version, it will say, you anoint my head with oil. Now, anointing without work will not work. Then that English makes sense. If you don't have what you are doing and they put anointing on your head, you have just wasted soap. Because by the time you are bathing, it's waste of soap. So you need to have something you are doing so that the anointing can work. Now, in the place of rest, when you have rested and you are good, ask yourself, what work am I really doing? It is easy to be busy. It is easy to have activities. Not every activity is work. And if I'm making any sense, we are living in a society where being busy means you are working hard. Are we together? You need to differentiate activities from work. What do you really do that brings money? What work am I doing? Work is not a fallout of sin because man sinned. If we study scripture, work came before sin. Abi? Which means whether we sinned or not, work would have been there. Am I making any sense? 2, understand your capacity for work so that the work itself does not become the burden. I'll give you an example. If you study, I'm sorry I'm using too many Bible verses. I know this is business summit. Okay. If you study the Bible said that God told Adam, to take care of the whole environment, though there is a part that was salient, and they said God planted a garden. Understand? A whole God was taking care of a small garden and gave Adam. Does it make sense? Who should take care of the whole Bobotigo? Should it not be God? Who should take care of the garden? It's supposed to be Adam. So when God saw that, no, I don't want this whole big one. You take this, let me take small. Stop looking for big projects to make yourself big. That's my point. It may just be a small project that your capacity can handle. Take that. Am I making sense? I know there are many men of God in the house. Let me say it in men of God way. Your church does not have to be big for you to fulfill destinies. But if I'm making any sense, it may be small, it is fine. My farm doesn't have to be the biggest to make profit. Because many a time you realize that when people enter debt, there is this thing of if I can just get a bigger project, I will get out of this debt. And unfortunately, you get the bigger project, the debt increases. So it's like you are moving from frying pan to fire. So walk. First, you need to know, what do I do? What am I really doing in this whole thing? What work am I doing? Am I making any sense? Am I a carpenter? Am I a bricklayer? Am I an engineer? What is my real work? Not what am I trained to do. What is the thing giving us money? Am I making sense? Now, you need to zero in on that deliberately. And in zeroing in on that, you need to, as a person, know your intent. Because when Daddy was talking, there were 3 things when Daddy talked about crowdfunding, there were three things I wrote together. I wrote crowdfunding. I know we all know the meaning of that. Ponzi scheme, Ponzi scheme, and multi-level marketing. These are three things that have become so common in our days, or in our day, and somehow some people genuinely start with legit business, but they don't know when they move from legit business to Ponzi scheme. They don't know. They just finally find themselves now that, Charles Ponzi is now our father. Okay, Charles Ponzi is the person Ponzi scheme was named after. Awesome guy. Go and read the guy's documentary. Okay, not awesome guy, but read the guy's documentary. Now, what is Ponzi scheme? Ponzi scheme is, I come and I tell you, invest 10 naira. In 1 week, I'll give you 15 naira. You don't even know how I am raising the money. But 15 naira, 50% returns in 1 week seems too good to let go. I mean, how else do God bless people? If not by bringing 50. You're like, Kini Shishel. You now drop 500. After 1 week, you get 750. You now drop 1,000. You now get 1,500. You're like, You know, typical Nigerians, you don't share your testimonies that fast. You now go and borrow money from people. You now put the money in. Then God now steps in. And the business closes. You now start running helter-skelter that, Satan. Now, why is it a Ponzi scheme? They have learned how to take money from A and pay B, wait for C to come to pay A. And until the money they have to pay out far outweighs the money that is coming in, then they jackpot. That's a Ponzi scheme. Now, why did I say a lot of people fall into this without knowing? You went to do crowdfunding. When doing crowdfunding, you said you want to do farming. You did not know that the Bible says there is sowing and harvest time. You did not know. You thought once you sow, overnight a bit you harvest. And you've promised people from fish 200%. Okay, 50%. You did not see the one that they said snail in 9 months, 30%. Snail that will take 18 months, but yours in 30% you've paid back. Holy Spirit is working over time. Now, you've promised 50% in 6 months. Unfortunately, what you planned and the reality are not the same. So what do? You raise more money. The more money that you raised is what you are now using to pay back the first set. Now, the first set thinking, Kini, Shisha, what do they now do? They pump more money. You use it to pay the second set. You have left crowdfunding. You are now where? Ponzi scheme. You did not know. So you need to know honestly what is our intent. What do we do? Am I making sense? See, Daddy gave an example. The reason Dangote can borrow whatever he wants, not because he has finished paying his back debt. Do you understand? It is because they trust his intent. That this man will do with this thing what he said he will do. Intent. What is your intent? Right now, as you are, if money enters your account, bam, what would you really use that money to do? Will it be what your initial intention was, or what people are buying? Am I making sense? What is your intent? 2, what information do you have? What information do you have about that intent? What info do you have about that intent? What information do you have? Are you informed enough? Or your information is wobbly? So you want to go into, what's the name? There was a time, I don't know if it's still raining, cryptocurrency was raining. Everybody was doing Bitcoin, that coin, and all coins. and everybody wanted to invest, what information do you have? Am I making sense? You are an engineer. You say you are the best engineer to yourself. What information do you really have about that engineering? If they say you should count the best 10 people in this thing in Abeokuta, you counting, will you count yourself? Am I making sense? What information do you have? One of the key things for leverage is information. It's that simple. One of the basic things you need for leverage is info. If you don't know, you don't know. There are no two ways about it. I'll give you an example. What is the average bank rate for loan? Who knows? Average bank rate, if you want to collect loan. 9? No, that's 9 South Bank. I mean normal bank, or this commercial bank. 22%. Who else? For banks that know what they are doing, it's about 30% to collect loan. But do you know that for almost a year now, Sterling Bank has been giving out loan at 9%? How many of us know? You know. Daddy doesn't know that time. They've been giving out loan at 9%. And it is not even their money, it is MasterCard that gave them the money. That said, ensure you give people between the ages of 18 and 35 this money at 9% loan. At 9% interest rate. And you can get up to 6 months moratorium. That means for the first 6 months, you don't need to pay anything back. Many people don't know. But many people are still shouting, there is no money. There is another one CBN just released that as undergrad and graduate below the age of 35, you can access the loan without collateral. How many of you heard about it? Information. Last 2 weeks, what's this guy's name? Tony Elemelu gave 5,000 people $5,000 each grant. All they needed was to undergo one training for, I think, about 3 months, 6 months. After the training, those that did well, even if they swear for you, why you not go do well? You go pause the swear. When you collect the money, resume the swear. Information. In that business that you are doing, what info do you have about it? Am I making any sense? Information. Do you have access to information? Because many a time you realize that some of the debt that you incurred is because you did not have the right info. Are we together? You did not have the right information. That was all that it was. If you had the right info, those debts will not come. So, do you have information? Number 3, do you have the right infrastructure? Do you have the right infrastructure in place for that debt, or for that funding, or for that info that you have consumed? Thank God I have my brother here that is a fellow farmer. I'm sure you will agree with me that not every opportunity is our opportunity. There are some opportunity you will hear, you will know that I don't have a structure for this. You let it go. There are some debts that we have picked up because we did not have a structure for it. But we were having faith, so we picked up the debt. Am I making any sense? So do you have the right infrastructure? So look at the debt that you have right now that you have. Ask yourself, do I have a structure for this right now? Think about it. Yes, you already have the debt. Do I have a structure, or do I need to start building structures that will help me out of this debt? So, infrastructure. Now, when you have been able to figure out the information and infrastructure, then we can now start asking, what input do we start with in trying to tackle this debt? What input or what leverage What leverage can we use? I'll give an example. You know I'm a farmer. As a farmer, I don't just farm. I have other people farm for me. Last year, I gave out some money for people to farm for me. One of the person that I gave the highest amount did an awesome job. I did not get any produce. Like good work. I did not get any produce. Unfortunately, when I say I did not get any produce, I'm not saying I've gotten now. As we speak, nothing has still come. Now, when that happened, it hit me hard. Why? I had planned what the produce will become. Let me put it in clear terms so it will be understandable. They were supposed to give me about 60 tons of tomatoes. I sell my tomatoes those days at 400. 60 tons times 400 is about 24 M, Abi. That's about 24 M. So, I saw 24 M. I see 24 M every day, but not the money. You know what I mean? Like, I see the people that should have brought the tomato, and I am not seeing the money and the tomato. Are we still together? Now, what did I have to do differently as input? Now I learned from that. Don't just give people money and let the money be working. Try and see, do they have a structure for this money? If not, I can see, let me put it this way, first and foremost. If you are owing money, you see that amount that you are owing. Think about the money, the amount you are owing in your head. Multiply it by 5. That is how much people trust you with money. I'll give you an example. Has somebody ever come to meet you to borrow money and you looked at the person, you have the money, but you know they cannot pay back. So you divided it to what you can give them. Have you ever done that? You know what that means? You evaluated what you can lose to borrow. For anybody to borrow you money, they are saying, we trust you that you can bring, you have what it takes to bring back this money. So know that, forget whether the debtor is shouting, you have no integrity, you are, don't worry, they trust you. Bottom line, they trust you. Forget all the, they are shouting because they are humans. Humans must human. You understand? Don't let that worry you. Now, in your input, we need to know, okay, things have gone wrong. What do we need to bring in? In my case, I now understood, if I am going to give anybody money to farm for me, I will first come and check your structure. But okay, you have this and this and this. What of this one? Why is it not here? 2, I don't give you the whole money up front anymore. No. Once beaten, no, why not be twice shy? Oh. Eternity shy. This will not be twice. So I will come, okay, this is what you can do. When do you need this money? I need so amount on so and so day. You need it when? On Monday. Okay, when I come, go and borrow and do it. Tiba day, and you have done it, I will pay. The person I will borrow from, we say I should put percentage interest, I will put it. Am I making sense? So that they are committed to do what I want them to do as a third party. Now, in your own case, what input do you think you need to bring in? Is it that you need to change your style of business or the way you give credit to people? Yesterday, we were cracking a joke in the office. People are online. I don't know if the person will see this. Those of you online, just pray to God. Start interceding. So, yesterday, one of our clients came and wanted to fix some project. We have an assistant in the office, Lucy knows her very well. She was like, this woman owes. Like, when our own owing, you know, there are people that owe you and they call you this and those that they owe you. That's not our own passion. She calls like she's not owing to place her next order. The earliest she has ever paid for an order is 3 months. So it's always so anytime we give out this, we know it's like 3 months later before she will pay. And when she pays, I need to call her to say, Mommy, please do it. Now, when she called yesterday and was almost filled up. Guess how much said she wants to pay for transport? I've left that to Lagos. Guess how much? Guess how much? How much, Daddy? 10,000. Ah, Daddy is good. Eh? 3,000. That how much is a cab? That she will pay 3,000. The cab will bring it for her. See, I'm going somewhere. So when we were trying to pack our things, what we have vested for her were the things that we knew if we did not sell could spoil. Understanding how to restructure. So that if it takes us 6 months to pay, it does not affect the business. Why? The alternative is this thing for spoil. Am I making sense? So, she, as far as she is concerned, she is a customer. As far as we are concerned, she is where we dump things that might go bad. So that rather for it to go bad, let's push it to her. Anytime you pay is money in the future. Am I making sense? But that will not happen if we don't understand the structure and our different customers. Are we going to cut her off? No, we cannot throw away our dustbin. Do you understand? We need somewhere to be putting the thing. Are we together? So, what inputs do you need to change? Is it the time you dedicate to some things that needs to change? There are areas you are putting in so much time right now, and the result is not so much, and you are still putting in too much time. Why not reduce that time and put it where there is profit? Are we together? So in some cases, it may be your time allocation that needs to change. Are we together? It could be the people you spend time with that needs to change. It might even be the customers that you sell to that you need to change. Are we still together? There was, I think, a while back, I don't know if I saw this thing. I think whether there were some Nigerian boys that went abroad to do some dance on American Got Talent. Remember I saw it. And they were celebrating them. That, and they now blew. And somebody now wrote on that if it were in Nigeria, they will not blow. In my mind, I'm like, why they go blow? This dance step plenty for Nigeria. Am I making any sense? It is abroad that it is a big deal. In Nigeria, if you are dancing, you're like, choreography in your auto, go jump, da. There are many. I'm sure we've all seen this story before where they said, I think it was on Facebook, I saw it, where they said, whether bottled water is whether 100 naira on the street, 300 naira in I'm not seeing that post. Then, but when you enter a big hotel or something, it becomes 1,000 naira. Abi? So there is a need at times to change the space you operate. Maybe the reason you are not making money is you are in a place where your valuation is low. Do you get what I'm trying to? So it's not that you don't have the content, but the value they give to you go poor. So they pay you where 2 or 3 are gathered. Meanwhile, inside you have what to generate millions. Are we together? You are doing, let me and my brother speak our language. My brother here that is doing fish. I don't know how much the fishes are, but I've eaten it. It was awesome. God will bless you to remember us again. Now, my brother does fishes. If you've not eaten the fish, you are very, very wrong. Your Christianity is not complete. I'm telling you. Okay. Oh. Now, you do fishes, Abi. How much is the fish, please? 1K. 1,250. Now you are working properly. Now 1,250. That same fish, if it finds itself outside the shores of Nigeria, the price will change. Am I making any sense? Why are you hustling and selling to a poorer market? Are we together? So you may need to change the space you are operating in to make more money. It's not that you need to change your whole business. It may just be the market. In other times, it may be that you need to change the content you are marketing. Am I making sense? You may need to change the content. Because somebody said, because when I read that, two things came to my mind. Okay, the water that left street entered Mr. Biggs or something became 1,000 naira, but it was not pure water. Pure water will not enter those big hotels, yes or no? So there is, at times it may be the content or the packaging that needs to change so that your valuation will change. Are we together? I'll give you an example. You have so many people looking for job. Who has seen the latest trend of CVs in town? The new CV. Who knows that the new CV is now no more paper? It's no more paper CV anymore. It's a video CV. So when they say send your CV, you send a video. And it is you talking about what you do, how you will help the company. In less than 2 minutes, you are done. So you have a chance to sell yourself with your voice. Because the man reading may not read through everything you have said. They may be reading and mistakenly skip. Maybe at the time they were reading, that was when one fly passed. And as he killed the fly, come back in and say, not read 10 sentences. You don't jump. And maybe with that 10 sentences, now there you be want to sell yourself. You don't go. Am I making any sense? So, what is your input? Then, number 5, what incentive? What is your incentive? Now, what is this incentive? When, we said we start by writing out how much we owe. When you have written out down how much you owe, don't start paying back debt from the person you owe the highest. It will discourage you. Start paying from the person you owe the lowest. It sounds weird, Abi. Let's assume you owe 10 people. Let's assume the first person is 100 naira, the second person is 200 naira, like that, till the last person 1,000. If you have 500 naira, you've successfully paid about 3 people. Abi? But if you are paying the first person you owe the highest, you've given him how much? 500. Have you finished paying anybody? How many people are still calling you? 10. When you start with the lowest, the number of people calling you will reduce. 1, 2. You have people to share testimony that yes, he will pay back. He has paid my own. Am I making sense? Because then when they're like, you are like, see, people were 10. Let me tell you, I use it too. When we need to pay some people money, and they're like, I'll say, relax, it's not only you. Let me give you phone numbers of other people. The Nigerian spirit will make you call them. I won't tell them that I've given each other their numbers. Oh. Because when this one called this one called, they're like, oh, he also gave me your number too. Oh, he must be saying the truth. Then one of them gets paid, and I tell you, I've paid one. What will you think they would do also? They will call to confirm. When they call and there is a confirmation, you get grace. Are we together? So, now, for every payment that you are able to make, give yourself an incentive, whatever you call incentive. It could be, the day I finish paying this people, I will spend 1 hour having bubble baths. Or I will take ice cream. Or I will take 1 pepper soup. It also encourages you. Somewhere in the scripture, the Bible says, I think after the whole raiding of David's camp, they said David did what? He encouraged himself in the Lord. Your debtors are not going to probably call you and say, thank you so much for paying. So what should you do to yourself? Even Nigeria, they owe. I believe sincerely your debt is no more than Nigerians' debt. I believe that sincerely. If it is more, come, let us talk. Let me tap into your grace. I'm serious, because if you can owe more than Nigeria, it means the trust people have for you is next level. We should be best friends. No, is it? But you get the point, number 2. Now, it is when you have done this that you allow that oil to work. Are we together? Because nothing is more than people come to you and they say, you are owing, but they know what you do. And they see you do what you do. There is an element of, what's the word now? Don't use the word grace, but there is a kind of levity they will give to you, like, okay, I feel it. At least he's working. Am I making any sense? Let me give you an example. If people owe you, you notice that those people that you know they are really working hard but are not able to make money, when they owe you, there is a way you treat them. Abi, you know they are at work. But you know the one that angers you is the person is owing you and buying Ashrabi. True or false? Or the one that is owing you and has refused to go and look for a job. And you're like, but you are owing me, and it's like, don't worry, God will bring it. There's a part of it that will just be like, which God? Are we together? So we said, in trying to make payments, start from the bottom. That method is called the snowball payment method. Pay from those you owe the least. Then, of course, discipline yourself and live below your means. Below your means. You cannot be owing and be having an extravagant life. Extravagant, depending on at your own level. You know what extravagant would be. Then anytime you have an unexpected inflow, make good use of it. Most of the time we advise channel every unexpected inflow to debt. Most of the time, channel it. Now, if you are into business or you are a salary earner, it is also important to even allow your debt, the people you owe are debtors, I know. I don't know. The people you are owing, let them know how you spend your money. By you making them accountable for you, it gives them trust over you. Am I making sense? So let's say, for example, me and my brother now, we are owing somebody. We cannot tell you that, see, every time we sell is when we have money. And our sales, that he knows that I'm getting a global recognition that I need to start rolling with the right people. He now took me to a club that they should register me as a member. That to register is 1M. And I said, okay, what do I get as membership? Is it that I get free food when I come? They say, no, I will still pay for my food. Okay, I will not get free food. If I want to have meeting, because they had like fine halls and sitting spaces, they say I will pay. So what exactly am I getting? A chance to be able to come and do those things in that space. What do you think I should go and pay? No. Do you understand what I'm trying to explain? I had to take time to explain to that my God that, see, forget media. I am not global anything. We are local content. Am I making sense? There are places you need. So when we say plan your money, plan time, there are places you need to avoid. There are spaces you need to avoid. There are occasions you need to go to late. Not to be judged because you did not dress like those that came early. If I'm making any sense. Am I confusing us? Plan your time. Is not every program you can attend. Are we together? I'll give you an example. I think University of Ekpoma, they reached out to me that they want me to come for their program in Ekpoma. And I was like, okay, who is paying for my transport? They're like, that will be your support. Support kini? Kilanso? Do you understand? No. Plan. Don't let people cajole you or use their lifestyle to influence a style that is not your own. Am I making any sense? Any confusion? We're almost done. But I want us to get this point where on planning. Because if you plan your money and you go to the wrong space, that wrong space will still bring out the money. Am I making any sense? Some of us know my little baby girl, Ofure. When Ofure is around, there are places we don't go. Because I know those spaces will need some kind of investment. I remember, God forgive me, the first time she came to Abeokuta, she was like, Daddy, is there Domino's in Abeokuta? I said, no. They refused to come. Because when she knows that they are here, that's weekend retreat now. Am I making sense? Then, as she started growing up, when she now comes, she works for her money. Then I now noticed that the girl is wise. So I will tell her, I used to have plant in the house. She's the one that will take care of the plant, and I will pay her salary at the end of the month. And I said, let's use your salary to go and buy Domino's. She'll say no. That she doesn't like Domino's like that anymore. But are we together? Plan your time. Plan your space, plan your time. Number 2, have reserves. Have reserves. Have reserves. Notice I did not say have savings. Abi? I said have reserve. Even God had reserves. I can't remember where in the Bible where they said, I think it was either Elijah or Elisha that said, all the prophets have bowed to Baal. And God said, no, there are still either 5,000 or 7,000 prophets who have been, interpretation, who are in reserve that did not bow. When you study the story of the flood in the time of Noah, the Bible said that when the rain was coming, it was not just rain from up. The Bible said that the ground was opened, water came. The firmaments were opened, water came. So God had reserved water. So it was not all the rain that fell that was the normal rain. Some were reserves. So if God, in his whole godliness, can have reserve, how much more you? Reserve is not just money. Have people that are reserved. Have reserve in resources. You have a driver that is important for your business to run. Do you have a backup driver? Or the day the driver's not decides to turn, you have nobody. So your business is on pause. Am I making sense? You have a sales help or sales rep in the office that is the sales repping. The day the sales rep decides not to sell, you too, you will not sell. No. Have reserves. Have backups. Am I making any sense? So when we say have reserve, have human being as reserve, have resources as reserve. In that space now that you are living you have rented, is there a place you can easily move to the day the landlord decides to? Do you understand? So that you are not stranded. Because some people get back into debt when an issue comes and there is no reserve to fall on. You now have to go and start looking for where to borrow to quickly solve that issue. Have reserves. You have a customer A, B, C, D, and those 4 customers are able to take all your products. Do you have reserve in case those 4, one of them decides not to buy? I gave you the example of the woman that said she's our dustbin. So we have reserve for dustbin. Am I making any sense? See, this is the difference. If she decides she's not buying, we are willing to throw it inside dustbin. Don't we do it on the farm? We are willing to throw it away. Am I making sense? But now we know there is somebody that will buy it. Even if it will take our time to pay, the alternative would have been what? Dustbin. Am I making sense? Have reserves. Somewhere, somebody, something that you can always run back to. Next, in trying to stay out of debt, this will sound weird. Learn humility. Learn humility. Learn to beg. I know that's weird, but learn to beg. Learn to beg. Please, I will owe you. I will pay you when I have also sold. Stop trying to pay for everything up front before you even sell it. Learn humility. Am I making any sense? As big as God is, God humbled himself to rich man through man. Think about it. You think God does not have the power to just one day just say, everybody now you are going to accept Jesus as your Lord and personal Savior. You think it will not just go like that? But he is humble enough to allow man minister to man. Am I making sense? Learn humility. Because some of the issues we have in our business is you pay for everything before you collect, yet you are going to store, your money is waiting, it has not even started producing before you start finding who you will pay to. What if I have somebody to collect fertilizer from and say, please, okay, give me 3 months, I go pay you? Would that not reduce my debt? Would that not reduce my burden? Remove pride. Are we together? Then, lastly, get multiple income source. Please go back to our passage. Tosin, you don't forget where we did. Tosin. He says, my cup brims with blessings. In another version, it says, and my cup runneth over. So, what is going to make you have an overflow is you are able to now have multiple streams of income. For God to overflow the earth with water, he had multiple streams of water, not one source. Do you understand? So to overflow, God had to bring in multiple streams. If you are also going to overflow, have multiple streams of income. Please help me with that, Pastor Tade's quadrant. The 4 quadrant, the one we used. Let me use that to explain. Because I know when they were there, people are thinking, okay, so I can only be in one place. You can be smart and play in 3 places at once. Technical team. Technical, Tosin. Tosin, make sure you don't walk in Heaven's Gate, too. I'm not going to follow another route. Okay, now, most people might be in this place where you have a job. Abi, you can earn salary and drop with somebody as an investor. So that you are making money, your money is making money. Are we together? So you don't need to be here alone. I know many people that are here, most people also operate here, where you sell recharge cards. Or for women, you sell wig, or toothpick, and so on and so forth. It's men that don't know how to do sharp business. Men are looking for grand idea. We want to build Third Mainland Bridge. Big ideas. Stay there. Be waiting. Don't start small. But you can be here, and here at the same time. Or worst case scenario, play in these 3 at the same time. Does that make sense? So you are here as an employee. Create a small job that even if it's with your WhatsApp, be selling something. You are here, you know on your WhatsApp, you get more than 100 views. WhatsApp and story, Abi. Status, thank you. I mean, anybody here that gets more than 100 views with your WhatsApp status? More than 100. What are you selling? You need to start selling something. They should not just view and go. Do you understand? They look for something they can also view and start to buy. That way, when you have something, if you have nothing to sell, look for people that have something to sell and collect your commission. That way, when you start doing that, you have created another income. Abi, when you start making your profit, take that profit and bring it here. Are we together? That way, you can be here and making money from these 2. And you are fine. We're almost done. Let me show you this, that this is biblical. If you are a salary earner, you earn salary, monthly income, and your total budget for the month involves you finishing your salary for that month. Shongbo, according to the Bible, I didn't say it. Tosin, look for you, it is in the Bible. According to the Bible, you are unfaithful and wicked. That's the story of the talent. Unfaithful and wicked. Who has seen that in the Bible before? Let me explain it to you. The Bible talks about the man that was given 1 talent. What did the 1 talent man do? He buried it. When the master came, what did he do? He dug it out and returned it. Naturally, should that person be wicked? Should he be wicked? No. Should the person be unfaithful? Think about it. Should he be unfaithful? Because you gave me $1, I gave you back what? $1. It is what you gave me, I gave you. But why did the Bible say you are unfaithful and wicked? In Genesis chapter 1, he said, multiply and replenish. So you have a mandate to multiply what comes to you, not save and return. Are we together? So if I earn 10,000 naira monthly salary and I spend all the 10,000, what am I? Unfaithful and wicked. So my job is to ask myself, how do I multiply? Do we understand? So as we go back today, think, how do I multiply? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's a round of applause for Mr. Samson Ogbole once again. I am loaded. Okay, let me surprise him. Well, I don't know if he'll be surprised, but I think so. All right. The subject is just undue. It's something that we can make money from. If you type on, I'm a Google Trend person. I'm sorry for that. So, because I'm a content creator, so I follow trend, what is happening. Although I'm very selective. I don't write about everything. I have my field of works. So, but when you talk about getting out of debt, you can't separate it from mental health. You can make your research. So because the reason why most people commit suicide, if you trace it down, is money. You know, people don't have money. So now, this is the deal. I confirmed that we can still view the video again on YouTube. So I want to set up a 3-man group that can go back to view that video and write it out and make it into a PDF material and forward it to Mr. Samson for him to edit and add some few stuff. Then we sell it as a book. You see? He's surprised. Number one, number two, the last person. Number two, the last person, please. Just one more person and we are done. Who is interested? One more person and we are done. Okay, so we have 3 of us. Thank you very much. So, sir, please expect that. I can promise you that. All right, so we would market the product. Although, those of us that are here, we would send it to us free. Okay, so, but should we do that? All right. They should pay for it too. Fine. All right. So we are going to market. So that is the little package I have. I got several things. When he mentioned the part of, are we enjoying the event? Because I don't want us to be, I'm not a fan of board events. so when he mentioned those who view your status, WhatsApp, I follow my views on WhatsApp. The reason being that I do business on WhatsApp. So, and I noticed that when I post pictures of maybe my friends that are getting married or the picture of a lady friend having a birthday, I get more views, even than 100. That's the strategy. So, and I know that the reason for that is because I'm not married. And several friends have been waiting for me to get married. So whenever they see a lady on my status, in fact, some used to go ahead and ask, is that the sister? I would say, no, don't worry. I would unveil the sister soon. So when I noticed that, this is bringing traffic for my WhatsApp status. When I have a vital information to post and I want people to read, maybe I want to sell something, I'll post it first. Then in like 1 hour time, I will now post maybe a friend that is a lady, did a photo shoot, you know, birthday on that day, I would post the picture. You need to come and see how it begins to trickle up. That's a strategy. And I'm making more views. So I don't know if you can adopt that. That's just by the way. All right. Someone is clapping, so he likes the idea. All right, I'm glad. Then when he was talking about opportunities, he mentioned Tony Elumelu, blah, blah, blah. We need to stay in the know. And staying in the know means that you have the right connections. If we don't have the right connections, we can make new ones. Okay. One opportunity I saw recently online was it's a kind of grant, okay, that is going to be given out soon. It's a company that is in partnership with Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola company. It's called Whitefield Foundation. So you can type the website, www.whitefieldfoundation.org, and you can still apply. They are going to take you through a training session. Please don't run away from the training. Nobody can give you money anyhow. They need to know you. And the reason they want to know you is because they want to be sure they're not going to throw money away. So I think this particular money is not that big. something about 150,000, 200,000. So, but it's something for any serious person. All right. So please, you can take advantage of that and be rest assured that it is legitimate, because I don't just post things like that too. I confirm it. In fact, I intend to write the organizers. That is how I go on my things. When I see something like that, I want to get to the source, because when I put it out, my integrity is at stake as well. So I want to be sure of what I'm doing. And at times, I even write them as if I want to partner with them, because I run a firm too that can partner. Do you understand? So we need to put ourselves properly so that we can enjoy Nigeria. If Nigeria borrows $1 trillion today, it is going into some individual hands. It is not angels that would spend the money, it's individuals. But those individuals, the reason that we enjoy the money is because they have created a system that can collect money. So naturally, the money will come to them. So because, in quotes, they are the ones who knows how to use the money and distribute the money. But if you really look at it, the debt is on all of us and our children unborn. But
know that he's created to be a leader. What have you always known that you're created to be? What have you always known that you need in order to be the light? You need to be the lamp on the hill. You need to be the things, the person that people will look up to and say, oh, I want to be like the XYZ. So you need to start leveraging on the different connections in your life experiences. Don't ignore your past, because if you ignore your past, your future is at risk. Learn the lessons from your past, but more importantly, look at the good things. A lot of us just rely and say, oh, my life has been this, my life has been that, I'm not happy, this happened to me, this happened to me. Negative. Negative will not make you grow. It will just keep you stagnant, because you keep thinking depression, oh, Nigeria, oh, this, oh, that. There's always something that has happened to you, and all you can remember about your life is bad and negative and evil things. You need to look at the good opportunities that has come to your life that has helped you grow. Your university, what happened? You passed JAM, or you passed WAEC, or you passed SS3, or you did, the good things in life don't happen randomly. They are purposed by God, they are planned by God for us to analyze and see, okay, this is most likely the next thing God is about to do for me. Miracles happen, yes, there are random things that happen, but most of the times, God has the planned schedule, and it requires deep insight, deep understanding to know, okay, what is the potential God has invested in me? What are the things I need to do in the next 3, 4, 5 years to be a better person? Look back at the good things that has happened to you and use this as the basis for the good things that will happen to you in future. Leverage on that, because understanding the opportunities of the past give you the confidence that God is with you. Give you the confidence that you can do better and you can do bigger. Give you the confidence that you can relax. Don't worry. Some things don't, you meet some people, something like this will never happen to me. Things like this don't happen to me. It's in my generation. Not just me, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, they died at 85, 87, and they'll tell you, I know I cannot die young, because I won't be the first person to start a negative, line or lineage. Why? Because they've understood that in the pattern of their family life, their lineage, living long is a blessing God has given them. So they leverage on that. They don't misuse it, but they leverage on that. And that gives them confidence. I cannot die. Don't worry, I cannot die. Even if they are sick and at the point of death, they'll say, no, I cannot die, because I know I cannot die. Why? Because they've been able to connect the dots of the positive experiences in their life. And they leverage on that as a source of faith for growth and for the good things that they hope to happen in their life. So what are the good things that have happened in your life? Document them, draw points, and see, and you'll be surprised to see that some good things have been recurring consistently in your life and in your family and in your lineage. And that is the basis for faith, and that's the basis for growth. That is one. The next thing you need to know is connection isn't only human. It's any form of relationship you have being able to build sustainably. So your connection that I want you to draw now is not just who do I know in who is the Godfather? No. The connection I need to start drawing are one, experiences, I've said that. Two, the good things about you, your character, your personality, you know, the way you talk, your skills, the good things about you. What skills do you have? Stop looking at the people, start looking at you. You have skills. You read or you've gone to school. You've passed, you graduated from a skill acquisition center or something. What are the things you have that you can draw together in order to propel you for the next stage of your life? What do you have? And that is the first question. What do you have that you can say, okay, oh, with what I have, I know I can get into places. I can penetrate this place if I consistently do that. And there are four things you need to know about connection and about leveraging connection for growth. It's in horizontal and vertical. You need to look at God because connection with God is the foundation for growth. If you're disconnected from your creator, you're on your own. So you look up to the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord who created the heavens and the earth. You will not allow my feet to be moved. He that keepeth me, or the most Emmanuel Ibokun, he neither sleep, he neither slumber. He will never forsake me. He will never forget me. He is my shield, he is my strong tower, he is my help. In love others as you love yourself. That's what the Bible says. And the law of karma is real. You need to treat others as you want them to treat you. So the essence of this connection is value people because they could be the value you need in future. Respect people that seems, in quotes, to be below you, that seems to have less than you, that seems to be, a little unfortunate or a little disadvantaged. Love, respect, value them. Respect traffic warders, respect the mechanic, respect the carpenter, respect the photographer, respect the clerk, respect the bank teller, respect the customer care agent that is picking your call when you're calling of these telecoms, respect the person cleaning the hotel where you are, respect the house cleaner, respect the electrician, respect the driver, respect everybody, respect everybody. Because there's a need for that. Let's stop undermining skilled people, skilled labor, because we can't survive without them. And even if you're skilled labor, you start saying, oh, me, I have 10 years experience, this one has 2 years experience. This 2 years experience. You never know who he or she knows. There was a time that people keep undermining women. Oh, we are in the same class, final year student, and they're like, this one is a woman, I'm a man. Oh, God, do you know who this woman will marry the next 5 years? That you go and meet me, like, oh, you're the wife of, yes. And then, because women have the leverage of marrying people at 15, 4, 10, 3, or 20 years older than them. And then you look at you, how old are you? Your age mates. They've married somebody above you, and then I'm sure you've heard of always respect the wife of the oga more than the oga, because the wife of the oga has power. So whoever is in your level today or seems to be below you, respect, love, because they are the connection that you might need in the future to grow into the position you desire. And we need to start that attitude here and now. Let it be a conscious effort to respect people around you, to understand that connections are built both above and below, and then across. When I mean across, your colleagues today might be the ones that will arise above you tomorrow. And those who are below you today, in office, in school, might be the one below you tomorrow. So there's a need to understand that your colleague who are currently in your level can arise above you in the nearest future. So respect your colleague, respect those in the same level, in the same class, in the same financial capacity. Respect people, because you never know the opportunity that would open for them, and they can see, do you know anybody that can do it? And you're the first person you want to call and say, guy, There's an opportunity I need you to leverage on. I need you to maximize. And then you take the opportunity, you maximize it, and it becomes a testimony you've been praying and hoping for. So respect those on your level. Respect those on the same cadre as you. Don't undermine them because maybe they are not doing enough. Don't undermine them because you feel they are not as intelligent as you. Don't undermine them because you feel they are not as productive as you. Don't undermine them because you feel they are not as skilled or capable as you. Don't undermine them because you are the Oga's favorite. Oga's favorite today will can become Oga's enemy tomorrow. And even Oga can leave, and then there's a new Oga, and things change, and power changes hand, and then you're left stranded. So let's be wise to connect for growth. To leverage on the connection, you must have built a positive relationship. And so relationship is leverage. Your relationship with people is a leverage you can use tomorrow. Now, I've said above, below, across. Now, I'm going to say diagonal too because your mentors are not in the place of God who is above, but they are higher, they are above you. So you need to start creating relationship with coaches, mentors, leaders, people you know and respect. And how do you do that? By being a person of value to them. What value do you have? And what value are you adding to people you're looking up to? Come up with value, and your mentors will have your time. But come up with demand consistently, your mentors will not have your time. The coach will not have your time. The person you're looking up to, that guru, will not have your time. And hence, you need to invest in relationships. Because if you don't invest in relationships, it will struggle to grow. There's nothing to leverage on. Because if you don't invest in relationship, if you don't give, if you don't support, if you don't help, if you don't volunteer, if you don't give your time, because it's not every time it's financial, it could be time, your resources. You say, I don't go out, and then every other person's wedding, you don't go, and you want everybody to come to your wedding. Oh, every other person's naming ceremony, you don't go, you want everybody to come to your child's naming ceremony. The church, you come in and leave, you don't greet anybody on your own. School, you're on your own. At work, you're on your own. You are the one that is being complained about that you're not a team maker. That is not good for you. That is not even good for your growth and the next level you desire. So therefore, there's a need to invest. Actively invest your time, your knowledge. Somebody needs advice, somebody needs support, somebody needs your help. Invest in relationships. And I need to sit down now and pinpoint 4 or 5 people that you want to invest in the relationship you have. Investing means call them. Oh, I want to come and say hi to you. Oh, call them. Oh, I have this opportunity. Are you interested? Call them. Oh, I have this. Are you ready to take over this or that? Oh, somebody is asking for this or looking for this, and I said you can do it. So invest in relationship, time, skill, support, any form of investment you can make. Invest in every relationship you have, because you will not grow if you don't have sustainable relationship. Pastor Tade has everybody on this platform because he's investing in his relationship. And investment is not investing in relationship, and then the relationship start does not give you the opportunity to be a best. Leveraging means that you're a person of value and ensuring that there's a mutual benefits across, to and fro. Don't be the collector in that relationship. Be the giver. If you have to collect, make sure you have a position where you're the giver, where you're the one giving at that point in time. So it should be, come, I give you, you give me. Don't do it as if anybody that supports you, help you, owes you. Don't misquote me. What I'm saying is, as an individual, be dedicated to supporting people. Be dedicated to being there for people. Be dedicated to being a person of value. Because when you're a person of value, people will love and respect you. Don't be a pest. Don't be a pest. Because you now have a relationship with any of the speakers here today, and you saw them anything on Facebook, and you have this, and then you start being a pest is also being a clout. And then you just want to be noticed by all means without having value. Clout simply means seeking for attention without providing any form of value. So don't be a pest to anybody you've been able to build relationship with. Don't be a pest. The next thing I would like us to discuss, to talk about, is preparing yourself for positive recommendation. It's painful when you've been able to build this connection with people and relationship with people, and you really, really want to grow. And then finally someone says, okay, I recommend and I know this person can do it. And then you go there and then disappoint them. So you need to grow and groom yourself. You want an opportunity, are you in the best fit for it? Look, Emmanuel, if there are vacancy in XYZ, call me. I'm like, no, I can't call you, sorry. I won't tell you I can't call you, but I dare not call you because you've not proven to be capable of that position you're desiring. You've not groomed yourself to be fit for a position that you're asking somebody else to help put you in. So groom yourself. Groom yourself. Be someone that when you're recommended, or when you are, when you are recommended for a project of anything, whoever recommends you is at peace that no, this person is going to deliver. So people need to recommend you. Make sure that you're good enough. Make sure that you are good enough. And if you're not good enough, you feel you're preparing yourself for the future, please don't rush. Don't rush. Bring value to the table when they have recommended you. So prepare yourself for positive recommendation. It's important. Also, recommend people, as much as you can. Be the source of another man's progress. Don't be the source of another man's stagnancy. Don't be the taker. Be the source of another man's progress. Be the person that they will say, oh, thank God for this person. I got the opportunity to be XYZ. So be the, and then there's a need for you. They would help you. If you did it honestly, they will do it honestly. Yes, it might not be 100% every time, but the truth is, help another person and they would help you. Now, I'll be running up here. And these are the things. You want to grow. You want to be better off. Start building relationships. Start building relationships and start connecting the dots of your life, especially the success of your life. Stop connecting the pains and the regret and the problems of your life. And then you summarize it into generational curse. Please, what are the generational blessings in your family? What are the generational blessings you have? What are the generational blessings that are starting with you? What are the generational positivity in you? Please, we should reduce the focus on generational cause. It happened to my family, it happened to the grandfather, it happened to the grandfather. They said that it's in our family, they have this and that. Calm down. So what is in your family that is positive that your father, mother, great grandfather, uncle, sister, anybody in your family kept having? Focus on that. And we need to start focusing on generational blessing. Draw the dots, connect it, and then leverage on it as a platform of faith for the growth you desire. And I hope to see you in in big places, in successful places. And I know that we will all get there together. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Apologies again for the quality of the video. They have not been able to get clearer lighting in the hotel, but this has to be done. Yeah, it has to be done, and I hope you got value from this. If you have to reach out to me, Pastor Dade will do the needful. Thank you, Pastor Dade. Thank you, everybody, again and again. Connect the positive dots of your life and leverage on it as the foundation of your faith for greater things to come. God bless you.
late. If you joined us late, we got numbers, names, and email addresses by, please, Technica, can you help us put that phone number on the screen again? So please, these contacts, you can just type this as a message and forward your name, your phone number, and your email address. Please, it's very important because we want to communicate with you continuously. It's very, very important. And I want to appreciate those who sent via text messages. I think it's because they are not currently online. So that is also appreciated. Just 4 naira. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Shegun, once again. Friends, I want to thank everyone who is able to attend. Like we promised earlier, we don't want to stay beyond 2 p.m. Now, Sam Egum's material will be sent to you via mail today. That is talking about how to maximize WhatsApp. I think everybody who spoke today has said something about WhatsApp. I mentioned it, Sam Mogole mentioned it, and of course we have a major speaker who actually, like I said before, is unable to attend because of a family emergency. But he took his time despite the short notice between the emergency and his coming to actually put that together. You will get that material today. But please, Shagun will follow up with you. You want to be sure you are doing something with this material. I want to be sure you are doing something with this material. From now on, we don't just want to have our WhatsApp for chatting alone. We should be making money on WhatsApp. We should be making money with WhatsApp. It's what we are always looking at. Almost everybody. In fact, I enjoy replying chats than calls. Sometimes you call me, I miss your call. When you drop a message, I will reply. That is easier for me than for me to begin to call everybody, speak with everybody. I prefer it that way. But it's a tool that we can maximize. Thank you all so much. God bless you. The CBN ties, we want to still talk about it briefly, even if it's just 2 minutes. I want him to just touch something about the CBN loan briefly. Sam, please.
So quickly, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 kind of people that can access the money. Number 1 on the list, I don't know why, but we are special. Those in agricultural value chain. That's us, us. That's our chain. So we can access the money. So let's talk about the less important people too that can also access the funds after us. Okay, that was just a joke. Okay, others are manufacturing and cottage industry. You can also access the funds. Artisans, whether you are what's artisans again? Hairdresser, tailor. You know, tailor is different from fashion. Tailor, obioma, all those people. Then you are into services. So you probably have, you are into photography service. You are into Uber, okay, not Uber. You are into your own kind of cab service. Anything service. You can also access the funds. Trade and general commerce. Trade and general commerce. Then those in renewable energy or energy efficient products. Then finally, this is the part I love most. Any other income generating project, you can access the funds. Interpretation, if you can generate money, we can give you money. Now, there are 3 different banks or bank options you can go to. Number 1 is Bank of Agriculture. Okay, number 3 on the list is Bank of Agriculture. That would mean you are in Agric, Abi. There is Bank of Industry. Then there is deposit money banks. So deposit money banks are banks where CBN has dropped some money. One of them, for example, is FCMB. So if you are accessing that money in FCMB, the interest rate will not be FCMB normal interest rates. It will be one CBN has set. Does that make sense? So when you go there, you need to tell them the funding you are coming for. If you just come and you say you want loan, if now you did there, you're not going to give them your own bank loan. You understand? So you need to say that and let them know you are informed. Now, how much you can access, we will focus on the mini borrowers. So for a mini borrower, you can get between 500K and 5M. Now, what if what you need is not up to 500K? They will give you. Does that make any sense? It's not like if you say you need 100K, they will not say, no, you are not, your borrowing is not borrowing enough. No, they will give you. But between 500 and 5M, so people you can meet for this, we have so many financial cooperative finance companies, microfinance banks that have logged under this already. Now, for you to get these funds, it is easy. Have a track record of income. Are we still online? Because Timo first saw that is. Can I remove my mic? Okay. Together. Let them buy in bulk. When you are done, we draw the money that you are going to buy fertilizer. Give them again. So here. As we were saying before Mike went off, half track A. God forgive me, since I won't fall. But we understand. What you need is a track record of income. That is very important. Now, that account that you want to submit, you have a question? No, have like 2-3 months is fine. Because some of us might be startups. But they want, remember, the last point they mentioned is income generating. So income generating is, we know you are really doing business that is bringing money. They don't need you to have the money in your account. They just want to know that, oh, Tosin said he's a photographer, and every time when we checked his bank statement, there were people saying paid for, what do people pay for photography? Photo shoot, paid for video shoot, paid for soft copy. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that by the time they check, they're able to say, okay, approximately you have like 10 clients based on the names we've been seeing regularly. And these 10 clients, all of them are giving you like maybe 100K. So based on this 100K, the maximum you can get is times 5. So when you now say, I need 500K, they will look at, okay, you were making 100K. Everything being equal, maybe you can do it. If that makes any sense. But if they check track record, nobody has ever bought tomato, no pepper, then you are a farmer, kill your own farm. You won't get the funds. So have track record, number 1. 2, have proper documentation. Now, document, so person bought this tomato, this person bought this, I paid for this, I paid, you know what I'm trying to explain. So that they know that this person knows how to do accounting. If you want to borrow person money, put yourself in bank too, the person don't know how to keep accounting record, you go give them money. No. These are the same things they will check. But because you are small scale, you are doing less than 5M. They don't expect you to have like an accountant general on your payroll. But they need to know that, okay, oh, you have somebody, this person paid for this, you wrote it down, somebody took transport. Think of the basic things. Okay, somebody had to go and do, is there transport? I've written it. I have to pay rent. You write it. Are we good? That is the second thing they will check. What was number one? Track record of business. 2, there should be paper that document, that backs up what's. Number 3, what do you need the money for? Because this one we can say openly. What do you need money for? You should know now. You cannot just say, I need 5 million loan. For what? As the Spirit leads. No. Because now this is what they will check. Because of your documentation and your track record, they want to see how that money will fit in to either get more jobs for people or increase income of people. Notice they are not about you yet. Because the assumption is if you are selling more people are being bought from, more people are making more money because they gave you money. Am I making sense? So, for example, let's say what my brother at the back, my bro, he wants to buy car for delivering fish. He cannot now show them that the number of fishes he delivers in a week, Olorumaje, is 5K fish. Does that make sense to get a car? No. But when they check track record that, yes, now he's doing about 4-5 million every week. And it now shows that, but I am spending about 200K weekly on paying vehicles. But if I have my car, I can save this amount and this amount because I will just be fueling, I will employ somebody. If you are the banker, does that not make sense? Are we together? So that is number 3. Those are the 3 basic things. They call it EOP, economies of production. That's your process. They want to know where that money is going to. Once you have that, you don't need now. The good thing is you don't need to know anybody. You don't need to bribe anybody. You will get the funds. Now, this is the unfortunate part. Nobody will tell you in all these banks, this is what they are looking at. Are we good? Now, I usually advise, like Daddy said, if what you need is 5M, be honest with yourself. If na you go borrow yourself 5M. You understand what I mean? If the answer sounds like no, the bank will tell you no. First go for like 500K. When you get that and you pay back, in finance, your ability to pay back debt when you are supposed to increases what you can borrow. Does that make any sense? They call it a credit score. It increases your score, your worthiness to say that, this guy is a good candidate for borrowing. Then, so which means you might even borrow little that you don't really need. I don't know if I'm making any sense. And you're able to pay back sharply. But you know what you are looking for is, when you say it, even the bank will know that they are losing money. But you start small, you pay back, then you now come for the big one. Are we good? Thank you. Oh, sorry, your question. Oh, sorry, I forgot that. God will bless you. That's what Pastor said. They see into the future. Yes. If you are going as an individual, I don't know if they've changed it now. Before now, 5 million and below is for individuals. You don't have to be a company. Now, if you are going as an individual, make sure the account you are using to run business is not the same account you are using to run your life. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's from there I pay school fees, buy Maggie. No. This is strictly, mom is like, this is strictly business. So that when they check your account, it is easy to track inflow and outflow. That's why I see. Another name. We are good, Abby. So, but if you are going for above 5M, you need CAC. And above 5M, your company registration must be at least 6 months old. You cannot just register today and come for money. They won't give you. Are we good? Then this is general advice. If you have the funds, register a company. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sampson. We are grateful to you for that. I believe we have picked the lessons from that. Thank you very much. So we are gradually drawing to an end of this magnificent event. So, but like I said before, I keep my words. So I want to demonstrate that. So if you are here and you know 5 persons here currently, I don't care if you have been in church together, I don't know, I don't mind. 5 persons, and you can quickly tell me their name and what they do. Put up your hand, and you get something. Quickly, their name and what they do. Put up your hand. Now I have competition. Mr. Sampson, please. We don't want you. Thank you. You are halfway. Yeah. So 5 I'm not even looking here again, Seth. I've closed my eyes. So I'm focusing on here. 5 persons. You know their name and one thing they do. Just one thing. This just one thing. Sir, no. I'm not looking there. I'm looking here. I would shift my look. Oh. Sir, please come. Do we agree? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. First of all, I want to start from that girl. She's a processed fish marketer. She sells processed fish. Her name is Omalade Aribalusi. Yes. Omalade. Person, said person. There's another person is here. Oluwatosin Babatunde Daniel. And he's into photography and videography also. And I have Pastor Yemi Amos Akonji. He's into media and graphics and likes. And myself, I am here. My name is Aribalusi Oluwatosin. No, that one does not count. I have Pastor Boye here. And he's into consulting and general merchandise business wise. Hey, mommy, Pastor Mrs. Mom is here. I'm coming. Pastor Mrs. Ayolua. She's into Ashoke merchant. Yes. And pastors also.
He has used juju for me. I shouldn't have called him. Please come. So I'm giving him out to win more customers. I think that's beneficial. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So, and I want to add that all of us are into business. Either you accept it or not. Your conversation, your communication is business. The person you are meeting today is a prospect. So please deal kindly with everyone. And let appreciation and thanks be your habit. It begins from telling the bike man that moved you from a place to the other, thank you. When I started, it was not comfortable. So, but now, it is flowing naturally. If you take me as a bike man from a place to another, I know I'm paying you, but I will tell you thank you. At least you got me there safely. So, if a waiter serves you at the restaurant, say thank you. If someone opens the door for you and you enter, say thank you. Over time, it will become an habit, and you're becoming a better person. Thank you very much. So I am sure that we have been impacted today. So if you have not forwarded your contacts and your name, it is very important. Please do, so that we can keep in touch with you. At Imagine Change Academy, we want to keep in touch with you, and we want to follow up. Thank you very much. So please give me the... Come and give vote of thanks. Mr. Tosin, come. Let's give him a round of applause. So, come on. So, just for a few minutes. Come, please come.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope our coming here today was worthwhile. And I hope we all have learned